Hi, I'm Samantha Heil, Executive Director of Book Fair at Bel Air, and I'd love to invite you to one of the biggest bookish events in the region. Join us on Saturday, August 8th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at APG FCU Arena at Hartford Community College for a free, family-friendly event celebrating books, readers, and community. Book Fair at Bel Air features more than 110 authors and vendors, best-selling featured authors, kids' activities, face painting, story time, arts and crafts, photo ops, and plenty of fun for readers of all ages. Whether you're a lifelong reader, raising future bookworms, or just looking for a unique day out with the family, there's something for everyone at Book Fair at Bel Air. Learn more at www.bookfairatbelair.org or follow us on Instagram at Book Fair at Bel Air. We hope to see you there this August.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Hartford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch or fast
I never played softball. It's probably the least sexy part of organizing. No. The truth is.
Hi, so I am joined by my sister today, Robyn Burke, Bennett, Ferncase. I am joined by my sister today.
You got them mixed up in the order,
Robyn
order.
Bennett, Burke, Ferncase.
You can stop there.
Just, you know what? I am joined. I got the King's wife joining me today. I got Junior's wife joining me today. Is that better? I am joined by my sister, Robyn, today, and we have a special guest on today. And I wanted my sister to co-host this episode, especially because of what we're going to be talking about. And she has to go through training once a year, right, for this. I have Linda Aluoch on from HopeWorks Global.
Yeah.
Is that a local nonprofit or is that a worldwide nonprofit?
We're actually in Hartford County and in Kenya.
In Kenya?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, how you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. It's beautiful out. I mean, we get to enjoy what looks like spring today. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Later on, it may look like summer. I think it's supposed to be, what, 80s today?
80s.
I think it's
87
supposed to be 80s.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It felt weird. I went to put on my shorts. I'm like, ooh, I either need to get some spray tan or something because, man, my legs are whiter than a ghost. All right, so Linda, if you don't mind, so people know, before we get into HopeWorks Global, do you mind sharing your story? Because when I read it on the website, yes, I started tearing up.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And I know it's basically on the website, it's just a summary.
Yes. So, I'm the youngest of four. Four girls raised by a single mom. Married with two kids. Teenagers, actually. They're really amazing teenagers. When people complain about having teenagers, I am not one of those parents because my kids are well-behaved.
Good.
Do well in school. And I think, I don't know, maybe we can say it's genetics or maybe I've just scared them to.
Or you brought them up right.
Good behavior. Yeah. I brought them up right.
I had daughters too, and I loved the teenage years.
Yeah, right.
They were fun.
Yeah. So anyway, I grew up in Kenya, youngest of four girls, with a single mom. And poverty was the order of the day for us.
Right.
You know, I remember times we'd be sitting in the house with my mom and not knowing where the next meal would come from. Wow. And I remember growing up, I actually have some scars that I still carry to date. Well, if you're listening to this, you cannot see them. But the next time, if you want to see them, just buy me coffee and, or buy me lunch and I'll show you the scars, all right? But anyway, I look at the scars and we talk about them with our kids. We actually develop this tradition of talking about scars and how we can turn them to strength. And I have a scar on my arm, and this was from fighting for food with my sisters.
Fighting for food with your sisters?
Yes.
Wow.
And the pot was hot. That's why I ended up with a scar. I have a scar on my foot. I had what looked like closed pair of shoes, and really on the bottom side, basically the sole of the shoe, there was nothing. covering the
So
shoe.
it's just covering the top of your
It's
foot.
just covering the top of my foot. So I was walking. I remember I was in, I think I was in 5th grade. Yes.
Okay.
And I stepped on a nail. I did not feel it because my foot was already so hard from walking, quote unquote, barefoot. And I got to know that I had the nail on my foot because somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you have a bloody footprint." And
Wow.
I bent down, pulled out the nail, and then I went home. My mom took me to one of the public hospitals, got my tetanus shot, and I still have my foot on today. So
That's a good thing.
yeah. So anyway, those are the struggles that we grew up with, and I'm so grateful for a resilient mom.
Yeah.
And she's taught us how to fight through life. She's taught us how to, I don't want to say survive, because survive means you're struggling and you're kind of
Right.
like, it's almost like you're coming up for air, like, no,
Yeah.
that's not what we did. Like, my mom made sacrifices for us to actually go to school, for us to get an education. And fast forward, my second born sister, who was at that point 7 years older than me, she ended up running away from home.
Wow. When you
At
were living in
16.
Kenya.
Yeah, when we were living in Kenya. And she ran away from home, fell into the wrong hands, got pregnant, teenage pregnancy.
Right.
In the early 90s, 2000s, that was not something, especially in the, I would generalize this and say African culture, because we almost have the same culture, like
Right.
Africans. And that became an issue because, again, my mom is trying to raise 4 girls in city because she worked for the government as a secretary. And at this point, my sister gets pregnant, and that's what would look like, staying on the family type of
Right.
deal. So anyway, so when my sister ran away from home, ended up just hanging out with these people that we did not know for 13 years. And we kept finding her, and she would say, "They'll not be happy. They'll not be happy. They'll not be happy." Every time we found her, she would just say, "They'll not be happy if I leave." And
Interesting.
yeah. And for us, that was like, oh, okay. We never really thought to stop and ask who's they.
Yeah.
We never really thought to stop and ask why.
Right.
All we thought, and again, she had been labeled as a rebellious teenager, so there was very limited contact that we were allowed to have as well.
Wow.
So 13 years later, my sister, actually, the one that I follow, who's 5 years older than me, gets a phone call, and it's from one of my cousins who says, there's a guy who called, and he said there's a lady in one of the slum areas, in one of the shanties in a slum area. She's your sister. This is your sister. You need to come and pick her up because she's on the verge of death.
Damn.
So my sister, it happened that my mom was in town visiting, because at that point I was living with my sister. I was still in college. I think about 21, 22. Yeah.
Right.
And my sister went with my mom. When they got there, not sure if you've ever seen slum. I know we do have like the really dilapidated houses here.
Different over
but
there.
they still have like the carpet, and it's different over there. Like, it's straight up ground that you're sleeping on, And so when my sister and my mom got there, they found my sister there. Her name is Christine. Christine. It still is Christine anyway. Yeah, so Christine was laying on the ground, and the person who had called had said there was a child, that he'd had a child crying in the room. That's why he got into the room. When my sister and my mom got there, the child was not there.
What?
Yeah. So,
Which was probably her child.
yes. So they picked her up and took her to the hospital. She was on the last stages of HIV/AIDS. When they took her to the hospital, I visited my sister every single day for 1 week. I was the last person to see her the day before she died.
Oh, God.
So I go back to the hospital to go and see her, and the bed is empty. And I asked the nurse, what happened to the lady? Where's the lady who was on this bed? And this is how I found out that she died. You just missed the van that carried the dead bodies. If you...
What?
Yes. You cannot make this stuff up. Like, yeah.
So they don't notify the family or anything?
No.
Wow.
Because, again...
Jesus.
HIV/AIDS patients, it felt like the way COVID was being done.
Yeah, okay.
You know? Like somebody died of COVID, you just dispose of the body. And that's exactly how they handled it.
Wow.
And remember, this is in the early 2000s.
Right.
Like HIV is just starting to become...
more accepted.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and that's over here. So I can't
and that's
imagine over
here.
there.
In Africa, actually, you'd become straight up an outcast. Like even your family would be shunned, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. So that nurse told me, you just missed the van that carried the dead bodies. If you run, actually, if you go to there's a national hospital. If you go to that hospital, you might catch them before they dispose of the bodies.
Jeez.
So I called my sister, like, hey, I just got here and, you know, Christine is no more. They told me they took the body to Kenyatta National Hospital. That's the main hospital, the morgue. And so I'm going to check. So now it's time now we're the ones notifying the family.
Right.
I go to that hospital. I go to the morgue, and the guy looks at me and he sees this young girl and he decides, well, let me see what I can get from this young girl. Corruption is a reality. So this guy calls me to come in and show him who my sister is. The guy walked me around the morgue. I saw all types of dead bodies, and all that was meant to traumatize me so that I would bribe him. Then he would show me the body. What he did not realize was, and I think I'm wired different.
Yeah.
What he did not realize was that was actually hardening me up. And I just looked at him and I was like, I can work here with you for the rest of your life. I have nothing to give you.
Yeah.
So you can either just show me my sister's body and we move on.
Wow.
We walked back to the door and the body was right by the door, covered with a white bedsheet. So, of course, we go through the funeral arrangements. My sister and I arranged everything. My mom at this point is like devastated. How do we even recover from that? My elder sister is like, it just, the dysfunction, dysfunction. I'll just straight up say I come from a dysfunctional family because there was domestic violence, there was poverty, everything that you'd find in a dysfunctional family. But we've come so far to a point where now we've grown, like we've made peace, we've forgiven each other, we've, all that stuff. We look back and we say, that's who we used to be. This is who we are now. Anyway, so we organized the funeral and everything, and that's the first time when we were burying my sister that I met my niece. Her name was
her
Carol.
daughter.
Her daughter, yeah.
I was going to ask you if you
and
guys
that was
spent...
the child that when the
this was a different one.
What? Wait a minute. What?
This is the oldest one that she got when she got
pregnant at
yes.
16?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was two, because there is one that she mentioned to me was called Samantha and a boy called Liam.
Wow.
So she had Carol, eventually my husband and I ended up like semi-adopting Caro.
Okay.
Then Liam and Samantha just, yeah.
You've never been able to find them.
No. So anyway, so we go through that. There's shame, guilt, there's all this anger because there was just a lot of infighting in the family.
Yeah.
I look back, and even as I was driving here this morning, I was just thinking about, maybe it's time for me to go back to Kenya and go and ask them to show us where, because we could only bury her in a temporary spot in a cemetery, in a public cemetery. And I just thought to myself, maybe it's time for me to actually go back and ask,
where is she?
If they can show me the spot, even if it means just taking the soil that would represent the place that we buried her, and probably just give her a befitting send-off,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that...
And this was like 25 years ago? 26?
Yeah, this was like 26 years ago. Yeah, actually 23. Yeah, that was 2003 thereabout. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm a 21-year-old girl.
Right.
Yeah. So fast forward to, of course, I get into the wrong company. I go back to college, and I was in this American university in Kenya, private university. I told you my mom worked very, very hard to make sure we got an education. Out of that, my older sister went into hotel management. My second-born sister is an air traffic controller.
Wow.
Yeah. I ended up going to college for international relations and psychology. So, yeah. So,
Nice.
so
Her hard work paid off.
her hard work paid off, yeah. So we got to college, and I ended up like with the wrong company. And I think for me to deal with the childhood trauma and the childhood, I would say abuse, not just from not immediate family, but extended family as well. I started drinking. I started getting into things like drugs. Like I started
Trying to ease the pain.
Trying to ease the pain. And sometimes I look at people, we live in a society, we were just talking about it, that's very judgmental. But because they do not know the story. And
Exactly.
people do not care to sit down and know the story. But they
it's
want to
important.
pass judge. Yeah.
And it's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it's actually last year and this year, there's people who've known me for so long, but they do not know these chapters of my life.
Yeah.
Because, again, you've never been there to really listen. And all I've gotten from you is more of judgment than...
And they've never asked. They've never asked your story.
So
Well, a lot of people are afraid to. But
Well-
and some people and on the other side, some people are afraid to tell their story.
They're reluctant, yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I started this.
Because people are so judgmental.
Well, yeah, but you're starting to see more and more people come out and tell their story and talk about it. And at the same time, when they do that, it's helping others.
Exactly.
And that's why we need to keep talking and telling the stories.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to speak up.
So anyway, got into all that. Then one of my friends actually died in a fire because she was so high. She could not save herself. And for me, that was like the turning around moment.
Yeah.
That's, I'm a believer. I'm not afraid to profess my faith. That's the point at which I realized, hey, wait a minute. There's something called eternity. I need to turn my life around, And so I met my husband in church, the same church that I attended, and, give my life to the Lord, as we say it as.
I wanted to ask you that because, growing up, everything that you guys were going through, a single mother and all this, was faith a big thing in your house?
So interestingly, my sisters and I, we were just talking about this 3 weeks ago with my two sisters. My mom was not very much grounded in her faith.
Okay.
We were not also, I would not say we were churchgoers. We were not like really grounded in the faith.
Okay.
And we have an interesting dynamic in my family because my mom's family, immediate family, her dad, my grandpa had only one sister.
Okay.
And the sister got married to an Arab. So we have a whole line of Muslims and a whole line of Christians.
Wow,
in the same
that is
family.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we thought Catholics and Lutherans were bad in ours.
It's so interesting. I'm glad you asked the question because here's the thing. When I was 9, my mom needed to go back to college, like for like a short-term course or something.
Right.
I ended up moving in with one of her first cousins, who's a Muslim.
Okay.
And I was 9 years old. And they put me in madrasa and I learned how to read the Quran in Arabic. I can't read it right now.
Right.
Like in that 1 year, for me to be able to live with them because they considered me, they call like other religions bastards or, So because I was an outcast according to them, I needed to become one of them by learning and living by their religion.
Right. This is something I want to study all different religions because it seems like no matter what the religion is,
Yeah.
it all comes back to believing in one
Exactly.
spiritual being.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
aren't we all the same?
We are.
Yeah.
We are. And yes, we do have a whole line of Muslims and Christians in our family, but the crazy part is we all get along.
Yeah.
And there's never been a time, I cannot tell you, I don't even remember a time where we sat down and tried to convert each other to each other's religion, except that one time when I was 9 years old that I needed to live with them. And I think my childhood experiences have just shaped who I am today because they've made me this, one of my former bosses told me I'm very aggressive.
Okay.
I'm not aggressive. I am very passionate.
There's a difference.
There's a
Big
difference.
Yes.
I am, when people ask me, someone asked me what animal, I identify with. And I said, I actually identify with a lioness because a lioness seems very chill until you mess with its cubs.
Yes.
But
She's the one you got to worry about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lioness will actually go and hunt and feed the rest of, including the lion. So, yeah.
The lion's lazy.
Well, and not only that, but I think that's more common than you realize. We're sitting around a family one day, I don't know, years ago, and we were like, my brothers and I, who were you more afraid of, mom or dad? And the answer was
Mom.
Always.
Everybody growing up was scared to death of my father.
Yeah.
They weren't worried about him.
My mother, you needed to be worried about because when my father's scared
Yeah.
of my mother. Growing up, I remember mom going after some of the neighbors.
I mean,
it
was a unanimous 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Mom. We were afraid of mom.
Yeah. And I think it's just how we are wired as, as moms. Like, yeah. So anyways.
Well, I got to add something to that too, because when you said, with the different religions trying to convert you, I'll be honest, there's only been one religion that I've seen where they try to convert you. And that's the Catholic religion.
Our family is, my father was Catholic, my mother was Lutheran.
Yeah.
And so if we went to church with my dad, we went to the Catholic church. If we went to church with my mom, we went to the Lutheran church. Or sometimes even the Presbyterian church did. But we went to church, but and then we got to decide when we were older. We were all baptized Lutheran. So myself and my one brother married Catholic people, so we converted, and the other 2 stayed Lutheran. But the funny part is, my grandmother was, oh my God, like a devout, the rosary every day over the blah blah blah, and all of her grandchildren are Catholic.
Oh wow!
Every one of them.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Every one of the grandchildren are Catholic.
I'm not Catholic.
Are you Catholic?
The-
You-
Mom's grandchildren.
You're
you're-
grandma. I'm thinking
Oh,
of
no.
our grandma.
I messed that up. You have two that are Catholic.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I have two that are Catholic. Sean has two that are Catholic.
I never thought of
So grandmom got the last laugh.
that. Wow.
I mean-
yeah, because every time I would go to, like, if I went to the Catholic
Mhm.
church, there was always a nun that was always trying to get me to convert.
yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not around much anymore.
I was like, why do I need to convert? I pray to God every day. Why do I need to
Yeah.
convert?
And I think for me, that's the thing to, even when I talk to my friends, I usually tell them, I'm not asking you to believe in a church.
Yeah.
It's
Just
Have a-
believe. Just believe.
believe, have a relationship with God. And your relationship with God will look different from my relationship with
Yes.
God. We all get to know God at different levels in different ways. There's people today, if I tell them, man, I've seen God raise up a child to walk, they'll be like, no, you're bluffing, because they've not seen God in that way.
Yeah.
But I have seen God in that way. There's people, so it's all about, I know we've veered towards religion, but all in all to say, believe in God, have a relationship with God, period. Whether it's a church, the church will not take you to heaven, A
No,
religion,
it's not about organized
Yeah,
religion. It's about a personal relationship with God.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So anyway, back to
your story.
back to my story. Well, I usually say it's the story of God in my life, but yeah. So we basically, I get married, 2 kids, amazing. Now life starts happening in marriage, of course, not in a bad way. But again, remember I said my experiences have shaped who I am.
What brought you to the United States?
About to get there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun.
I'm going to say probably a plane, but go ahead.
So we, again, back to advocacy. So we decided with one of my friends, at this point I was working for corporate Kenya, because we were still in Kenya. This is around 2012, 5 years into, no, actually backtrack a little bit. In 2007, that's the year we got married. So I've been married for, this year will be 19 years. And I was one of the election judges. We call them like presiding officers, in Kenya for the general elections. And when we talk about division in politics, in this country, we are divided white against black. In Kenya, we are divided on tribal lines because we have 44 different communities with 44 different languages, 44 different cultures.
44 languages in Kenya?
In one country, yes. And that's, all countries in Africa have more than 10, just for generalization purposes, yeah.
Wow.
So my husband and I come from 2 different communities in Kenya. When he speaks his native language, if it's words that I've learned, then I will understand. If I speak my native language, he will not understand if it's not words that he's learned.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've grown up in that sense of tribal division.
Right.
So in 2007, I go and work as a presiding officer, election judge. And this was the worst elections that I ever saw because people were so divided. We were just talking about it. People were so divided. They killed each other.
I was going to say, national news covered that, didn't it?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes. They killed each other because their preferred candidate from their tribe did not win.
Yeah. Wow.
I keep telling my American people, stop playing games, yo. Like, this stuff is crazy. And I always tell people, if you want to see what division can do, I'm not endorsing the movie. It's very graphic, but go back and watch Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, yes.
I have not seen that.
It's going to break you.
Yeah.
That's you need boxes of tissues, and make sure you don't have anything that you can throw at the TV, because it's going to break you.
Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah, Hotel Rwanda. Yeah. RWANDA. Yeah, Hotel Rwanda. It's about the genocide that happened. And Rwanda only had 2 tribes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we live in such a little bubble.
Well, that's what cracks me up. People think we have it bad here.
We live in such a little bubble.
But then again, when you look at it too, like having lived in such environments or exposed to such environments, when we come to this country, like personally, I have a completely different perspective of life in this country. Yeah. Like for me, it's not a problem to sit with a white person and a black person, of which there's people who cannot do that. I've seen the hatred. Right, yeah. I've seen the hatred in people's, even some white people ask me, there's someone who told me once, that was very ignorant. So did you know how to speak English before you came here? And I was like, excuse me? Like,
who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we were colonized by the British. English is actually our second language.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So.
Of course.
Exactly, right? So anyway, back to, we basically, where was I? even lost my train of thought. This conversation is like, yeah. So 2007, we witnessed like this really ugly political genocide or whatever you want to call it. Well, we did not get to the genocide level, but people died. And I participated in, we had like churches come together.
If there's any critters, I don't want them jumping in.
We had churches that came together, and we did like a convoy just going to the major towns to pray to preach peace.
Right.
And that really changed my life because I saw people suffering. We went to one area, and I remember talking to this lady who said that she was raped by 9 men.
Oh, God.
Simply because she was born into the wrong tribe.
Oh, God.
There's an area where people were burnt in a church, and met this guy, and he lost his family because they were born into the wrong tribe. Nobody chooses to be born where they were born. Wow. And that started like, just I would call it activism, but for me, it's advocacy. Yeah. And for me, it was...
Started a fire in you.
Exactly. Something needs to give. Mm-hmm. Something needs to give. What can I do? If you ever watch, there's another movie I'll recommend, The First Grader. It's called The First Grader. It's about this 70-something-year-old man who went to school as a first grader. He's a Kenyan guy. I literally met the guy. And he was living in one of the they were kind of like encampments because they were displaced. And we met him there because, again, he was born into the wrong tribe. And I go back to nobody chooses where they're born. I did not choose to be born black, you white. We were born where we were born for a reason.
Right.
And we have to recognize that, right? So anyway, I go back and find a corporate job, and I'm like, and this thing is still, brewing deep inside me. So I decide it's time for me to go and probably do business or something. So we went with my friend, her name is Zippy. We went to these local farmers. So to give you context, there's beans that we buy here. When I got to buy them in the international stores, they cost me like $4 and some change per pound. No, for 2 pounds.
Okay.
These farmers in Kenya who grow this commodity sell their commodity for throwaway prices. I don't know how much it is right now, but in 2012, when we went to see them, they were selling it for less than 10 cents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the reality. Yes.
But somehow they make that work for their living wages.
I would say yes, but no.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. When we got there with Zippy, we met these small-scale farmers who, one of them was so happy. We keep joking around about critters. One of them was so happy to have caught a rat because she was assured of a meal that night.
Wow.
Sometimes I believe poverty is engineered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what I believe.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Like, let's keep them poor to keep them dependent on us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we went back with Zip. We visited 3 homes and we went back with my friend and we were like, we cannot do this. Our conscience would not allow us to do this to human beings, you know? Sorry. And as we were heading back to the city, we were just like, what can we do to help these farmers? Because one of them actually told us that barter trade in 2012 was still existent because they would give their produce to the middleman and the middleman would give them something like a cooking pot. What is she going to cook with the pot if she doesn't have the food or the income, you know? So we came across this organization that was looking, actually it was funded by USAID. So I laughed when, you know, I saw USAID being gutted and everything. And I just thought to myself, this is another way of, I'm not trying to be political here, but this is another way of engineering poverty even further. So this organization was looking for people to set up like a warehouse, you know, to help the farmers. So went back to the drawing board. We set up a company. It was a for-profit company. We decided to do warehouse receipt systems for these farmers. So we basically brought them together. The organization was already working with the farmers. All they needed was somebody to actually provide the storage facilities. Yeah. So we provided the storage facilities. My first time to the US was in 2013. And it was for a trip sponsored by the USDA. So we came to learn about commodity exchange. Came here, went to the Chicago Commodity Exchange. We went to Texas A&M. We visited farms that were already and cooperatives that were already doing warehouse receipt systems. And we went back to Kenya and I was like, yeah, I'm going to help these farmers. So the farmers brought their produce to us. We would weigh it, clean it. We basically did value addition was considered just weighing, cleaning, and packaging it nicely and connecting them now with the market. So that's the role that we were playing.
Wow.
We actually saw lives being turned around because with that, the farmers were able to borrow up to 60% of the value of their crop.
Wow.
And you were cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. But of course, again, remember, we are interrupting a supply chain that has existed for so long. Yeah. So who do they come after? So we actually had a customer who was ready to buy the farmer's produce. Remember, they were selling their produce at less than 10 cents. Mm-hmm. At this point, we've secured a buyer for almost $1.
Wow. 90% increase, 90%.
Exactly. And this person comes in and tells them, Linda is lying to you. Whatever price she's giving you is actually less than what she's selling. So don't agree to sell. At this point, as they're saying that, the bank is waiting for their repayment of the loans that the farmers had borrowed, because remember, we acted as guarantors, right? So my husband and I are like, okay, so what are we going to do? We cannot allow these farmers to lose everything.
Right.
So we took the loss. My husband and I lost everything.
Wow.
We sold everything in our house to the last spoon. I remember my daughter asking me for yogurt, and I spanked her to take out the frustration of not being able to buy yogurt for that kid.
Oh, wow.
And we lost everything. And literally, for us, it was, we'd rather be the ones to lose than the farmers. We cannot we cannot put them in that predicament, we'd be worse than the middlemen. So
It would be a trickle-down effect. It's going to affect other families.
Exactly. That was a blessing in disguise, which comes to how we ended up here. So we ended up, actually, my sister-in-law took us in. I love my in-laws. I have the best in-laws in the world. Like, seriously.
Oh, I don't know. I might have the best in-laws in the world.
I don't know. But yeah. Let's say you have them here. Mine are in Kenya right now. Yeah, but I have like the best in-laws. This is how the best in-laws. My sister-in-law is actually my best maid. Okay. Yeah, that's how tight we are, You're
listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. I've got to share something with you. If you're in Maryland and thinking about real estate, you've got to check out Daniel McGee and the Victory Team. A close friend of mine sold their house with them, and honestly, I was blown away by the smoothness of the process and the level of care they received. And it's not just them. Several others in my circle have had similar experiences. Daniel and his team have this personal touch that's just so rare these days. They actually listen and tailor their services to fit exactly what you need. And with fees way lower than the industry standard, you really feel like you're getting luxury service without that hefty price tag. So whether you're buying or selling, go to victoryteamsells.com and get started with Daniel McGee and his incredible team. Believe me, with them, it's not just a transaction, it's a relationship.
And my sister-in-law took us in and they supported us in the 6 months that we were trying to figure our lives out. We ended up working with another nonprofit in this very remote part of the country in Kenya. And again, for us, we're always about advocacy. We are always about, let me leave you better than I found you.
Yeah.
Right.
And for me, it's the scars that I carry that remind me, don't let somebody else's scar tell a different story. If they have a scar, let it tell a story of what they were or who they were and where they are today.
I love that.
And that's just the mindset that we've carried. And thanks be to God, because He's enabled us to have that spirit of compassion. So we ended up working with this nonprofit, and again, abject poverty. And this is an area where the days that made local news being within the organization, are days when we did not kill snakes. Snakes are not protected like they are here in Kenya. We don't protect. No, in Kenya, you see a snake, you kill it. All right.
We don't protect them at my house either.
I love snakes.
No.
Do you have a lot of them over there?
In that region, there were actually there were actually are they called red spitting cobras? Yeah. Like those. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm with you, Linda.
Yeah.
Nope. Hell no.
That's fine. Yeah. We'll just assume, we did not hear that. We did not hear that comment. That's fine. But anyway, so moving on swiftly from, from the snakes. Anyway, so that poverty, again, just seeing people, I remember meeting this 6-year-old girl. She was an orphan. She was taking care of her. No, she was actually 7 because her brother was 5. And their parents had died of HIV/AIDS. The girl was actually on ARVs, and they were living with their grandma who was disabled. And and this 7-year-old girl heard from somebody in the community that there was the organization that we were working at. And she walked with her brother. I would say she walked 23 miles if I do the conversion from
She was
kilo.
7.
She was 7. Wow. Her brother was 5. Her name was Lillian and her brother was David. Yeah.
23 miles.
Yeah. To come and get help. They literally walked to, when they got to the gate, they passed out. So again, being able to, and we had like a clinic, like a medical facility on campus. So took them in. The owners of the organization were very, very, receptive to taking care of these 2 kids. I think right now, she should be about maybe 18, 19. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear from them?
I haven't reached out. Probably when we go back to Kenya, we'll go and see them. But it was just such a blessing to see, again, the advocacy. In this community, we went and taught them, like the women, how to make soap and just generate some income. Yeah.
Wow.
And my husband would watch soccer with the men. Again, we're British colony, so European
Soccer.
Yeah.
We have first cousins in England. We understand.
So you understand, right?
We understand.
Yeah. So my husband would watch soccer with the men.
Right.
And then after that, they would talk about like things they can do with their hands, like woodwork, like, metalwork and all that. Basically empowerment, So while we were there, I saw this thing called diversity visa. And we'd actually drive 2 hours to the closest town. That's where the market was. So we'd go with my husband to the market, and I would go and sit in a place where I would find Wi-Fi just to browse on Facebook and catch up on life, because there was no cellular coverage in this place that we were at. And the only place that had cellular coverage was under one mango tree. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, think about it. Like right now, when your phone shuts down, you lose it.
Yeah.
Like there's people around the world.
Under one mango tree.
Yeah. So
They don't have coffee. You don't go to the coffee shop. You go to the mango tree.
exactly.
Wow.
So we're in this town, and I see this thing called diversity visa, and I go in and just start checking, and I apply for the diversity visa. It's actually a federally funded program to bring in migrants legally into this country. And I know people who've come into this country through the diversity visa who are doing very well. And it's rigorous because it's not an easy thing, and it's super expensive. Yeah. So anyway, our application went through on the last day at 11:59.
Oh my gosh.
The deadline was midnight, and that was the first time and the last time we applied, because here we are today. And when we moved here again, like just starting to settle and everything, we went into corporate America. And yeah, so again, in corporate America,
Was that scary, leaving your country to come here?
It was, but at this point, remember, we've lost everything. What else can we do?
Yeah.
We're just like, and my family,
A fresh start.
exactly. So when we came here, went into corporate America, and of course, working for different companies, I just kept feeling that. We drive around and see, in Harford County, the homeless people.
Yeah.
The church we were at, we'd see people being fed like every time. And I started working with like the homeless population.
Okay.
So my kids normally make fun of me, like in a good way. They say, "Mommy, the homeless are your peeps," like, because I walk around and they know me and we'll catch up, like, if I haven't seen them in so long. And there's relational equity that we've developed to a point where I can ask them, "Hey, the last time we talked about you getting a job, what's going on?"
Right.
And there's that level of respect that we have for each other. And I think it's because they know that I care.
Yeah.
I helped a bunch of people in Harford County get their birth certificates, get their IDs. And then in 2024, this lady, how I got now into HopeWorks Global, this lady comes in and tells me, I've been struggling with addiction, and I sat down with her for 4 hours just listening to her story.
Right.
How she got into addiction and all that. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to help you however I can." And one of the days, like, we met on a Tuesday. 2 weeks later, I give her a call, and what I hear on the other end of the line, she says, "I just need somebody to blow my effing brains out." And I'm like,
Wow.
"What are you talking about?" And I hung up. No, I asked her, "What's going on?" And she said she prostituted herself, bought coke, and it was laced with something. And like, her body was just overreacting. I hung up, called 911. I called her back and listened to the cops as they administered Narcan to this woman.
So she had OD'd.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was such a timely call because her children were removed from the home on that day. And 2 weeks later, it's one of those things, just gut feeling call. I call and she says, "Oh my gosh, you called me at the right time. I just came from the hospital." Like, "They kept you at the hospital for 2 weeks?" She says, No. They let me go after 2 days. And then I was just taken to the hospital because I was being suicidal. And I was like, "No, you are not. You are not being suicidal. No, I don't even know why I was saying that.
Right.
Like, why I would dismiss, And she was like, "Yeah, I was like, I'll buy you dinner." So we were to meet at the Panera in Aberdeen. She stood me up. I was like, "Yeah, you can stand me up." I almost went to her house singing, "You can run, you can hide, but you can escape," So I was with one of my friends. I was like, "Yeah, let's go and see her at her house. I know where she lives." As we were walking to her house, I see this nice car parked outside the house. I'm like, something is not right.
Yeah.
I'd been to the house before. I'd seen the house, the condition of the house, the holes in the walls. Someone who's struggling with addiction, they have very minimal time to take care of their surroundings. And I was like, I told my friend, "I don't think this situation is right." And she said, no, he said, "How do you know?" So the lady walks out to come and meet us, and she had bandages, on her hands, and she was walking on her tippy toes. She said, "He actually is the one who called the cops because I tried to break glass." I won't give all the details on the podcast just to protect her privacy, but long story short is, he was basically drugging her, raping her, recording and selling on the dark web.
Shit.
Yeah. And with me being involved, how I got involved was, now at this point, I'm like, I didn't even think of it as a rescue at that point. So I was like, "Do you need to get to safety? Are you safe?" And she basically looked at me and looked at the guy like, I did not ask her like verbally, I just kind of mouthed it.
Yeah.
And when I asked for her mom's number, the guy lost it. So I knew she was definitely not safe.
Wow.
Luckily, her oldest daughter had called cops and the guy was removed. So now I came in to try and help her get like protective orders, take her to the hospital to get the glass removed from her feet. Her life has turned around because, she's graduating soon. Next month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
She
for
has
her.
a job, full custody of her kids back, excuse me. And the thing is, that gave me closure.
Yeah.
I went back home and I sat down and I was like, what could I have done different in this situation? And I started researching, what is human trafficking? What does that look like? And as I'm going through my training, because then I signed up with this organization in DC, trained as a certified anti-trafficking consultant to train people. I'm still figuring out ways to coordinate with the necessary authorities.
Right.
Yeah. So with that, I quickly got closure. Like, that's what gave me closure and acceptance to what had happened to my sister Christine. It made sense. I remember sitting in my living room as I was working and my husband was home, and I called out and I was like, babe, it's all making sense now. Christine was actually a trafficking victim.
You figured out who they
Yes.
were.
Wow.
And honestly, I'd started HopeWorks Global. Initially, we were going to do like digital transformation for nonprofits and all
Right.
that. On that day, when I got my aha moment, I deleted everything digital transformation and we became everything human trafficking.
In memory of her,
In
your
memory
sister.
of my Christine.
That's
sister
awesome.
Christine.
Wow.
And
Now, where did you get the name from?
so Hope in Swahili is actually, we'd registered as Tumaini. Tumaini in Swahili is hope.
Okay.
And then I was like, wait, what do I want Hope to do? And I was like, Hope needs to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Around
Hope,
the world.
Yeah. Hope works. Yeah.
I love it.
Giving people hope makes a difference. And so we set up HopeWorks Global, and one of the programs we actually run is economic empowerment. We don't just do trainings.
Yeah.
We do economic empowerment as well. So I went back to the drawing board. What does this look like? Again, in Kenya, poverty is a key driver. Poverty, any type of vulnerability, is a driver for traffickers to prey on. So we set up actually it's Afro Couture. So we do have a store that we sell items made by people impacted by trafficking or at risk of trafficking in Kenya. So for us, the economic empowerment, kind of similar to the warehouse thing.
Yeah.
Economic empowerment for us creates avenues for people to earn a living, a decent living wage, people to actually be able to invest in their education, people to be able to buy food for themselves and reduce the vulnerabilities of, being exposed to trafficking.
That's
so
good.
We're very fortunate. We're very blessed. We did get an opportunity to set up the store at the Bel Air Amari Marketplace.
Okay.
So we have it there. We sell jewelry. We have home decor. We have sandals. We have everything handmade. And all these things are handmade. They've created opportunities. Right now, we're sitting at 43 different families. And
That's great.
yeah, we've started shifting our focus to especially kids with special needs.
Oh.
Yes. Because we've seen situations where mothers who have kids with special needs, culturally, some of them are considered to be a taboo. So they're used as human sacrifice.
Oh, my God.
There's some, because, again, nobody really cares, or even the caring for them is so expensive and that we don't have the resources.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law right now runs an organization. She founded an organization in Kenya just to help kids with autism. And the parents who have kids with autism cannot afford the services.
No.
So now we're looking at how do we support this organization, because if this mom leaves their child will become a target. And organ trafficking and labor trafficking, those have skyrocketed. I don't have the numbers right now, but that has become the kids, teenagers, adults, anybody with special needs has become a target for organ traffickers.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're an easy target.
They're an easy target. And to shock you, like the Global Crimes Report just came out recently, last month. You can go look for it. It's called the NASDAQ Global Crimes Report. And human trafficking rose up 23.1%. To me, that's actually 100%, because in 2023, we were sitting at $256 billion globally.
Wow.
Right now, we are at $528 billion.
Wow.
And we've mentioned this before, too. And where you're at here, you must be a big help because of this 95 corridor and the ports and the airports.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's scary. I never knew about the special needs things. I always, because a lot of times when people think human trafficking, and the organ, God, I didn't even think about that. But you think about women and kids. And usually it's female kids.
Yeah. Yeah. But kids with special needs, again, you can go search on YouTube, like any type of exposés that have been done, even locally.
Yeah.
Well, because they're so trusting.
They're so trusting. That's the thing.
They're so trusting.
Well, and they love the work. I think I look at like people with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
They are freaking workaholics.
Yeah.
And strong.
Exactly. And now if you find that person and you just pay them under the minimum wage, that's straight up labor trafficking.
Yeah.
So you see, when people hear about human trafficking, sometimes all they think about is sex trafficking.
Oh, no.
Yes,
no.
sex is a big one.
Yeah. But it's a lot more.
I saw this documentary. It wasn't really a documentary. It was like investigative journalism. A kid who actually, and this was in Kenya, a kid who actually sold his kidney. He was promised $2,000 for his kidney. He got $150 because the rest of the money went to the middleman.
Oh, my God.
That's a 22-year-old. It's actually on YouTube. It's public information. I'm not making this stuff up.
Oh.
That's a kid today, 22 years old, who live with the complications of kidney failure or kidney issues.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's a high time we start talking about it. I was actually in one of the meetings where the current council president was at, and I asked a question. Yeah, you're running for this office. What are you going to do about human trafficking in Harford County? And at first he did not have an answer, but I'm glad that he took the steps that he did, because he went and requested Councilwoman Alison Imhoff and Nolanda Roberts, and they coordinated for the council to actually get training on human trafficking.
Good.
I'm surprised they're not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that happened last week on Tuesday, actually. So I'm glad that the conversations
Teachers should be taught.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there's so many.
Anybody that's technically, everybody should be. Think about how a lot of people are trained in CPR.
Yeah.
First aid.
Yeah.
Why not human trafficking?
We even have mental health first aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see, unless you live in a bubble or you're a hermit, you're running into people all the time. And you could see somebody, you could run into somebody at the grocery store. They could have a little kid with them.
Yeah.
And that kid could be trafficked. You don't know.
And sometimes it's the myths that we have to educate people about too.
Yeah.
Because now people think that trafficking is being taken from, it's cross-border.
No, it's more than that. Yeah.
It's actually happening locally.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's happening all around us. All the trainings that I do for people, the titles of my trainings are Hidden in Plain Sight, because that's exactly what trafficking is. And you do not know unless you know what you're looking for.
That's true. Yeah.
And again, there's this misconception that only women and girls are trafficked.
Nope.
Men are equally.
Oh yeah.
Actually, with men, it's even worse because they provide the cheap labor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mean to, I'm not political. I'm not taking any side here, but the immigration crisis, letting all these people in and trying to get all of them out, whether they are Hispanic, African, regardless of where immigrants came from, that actually created the perfect storm for trafficking to happen. Because all that people needed to find out was that, let's create hypothesis. Yeah. Let me give you shelter. But now you have to do everything that I'll give you a job, but I won't pay you $15 as per the state laws. I'll pay you $7 and give you a place to stay.
So with human trafficking, whether it's for labor or whatever, and if somebody gets caught, are there laws that do you think the laws are strict enough? If there are even any law, or the penalties are strict enough for people that are doing this?
It depends on what evidence is collected at that point.
Okay.
Case an example, this one guy got away because he's the one who called and said the lady was being suicidal, so she was treated as a mental health case and not as a trafficking victim. So he's not flagged as a trafficker.
Wow.
They know how to play the system.
The lawyers find loopholes.
Well, yeah,
he wasn't even arrested because... Yeah. So I'm not blaming the cops, but again, traffickers know how to play the system. Yeah. And again, remember, there's a lot of manipulation and grooming to a point where these victims feel like they are indebted to the guys. There's also coercion. So victims will probably never self-identify because they're scared. They want to protect their families.
Right.
They want to protect their loved ones because they've been told, if you expose me, I know where you live. I know who your mom and dad is. So what do? They play along, Yeah,
so they don't want their family.
They don't want their families to, So it's this one situation where I think what we need to start focusing on a lot more is prevention rather than intervention. Because once we create the awareness, people become more and more informed. Right. Not just as parents, but even as teenagers. My kids today, yes, I said I have really amazing kids, but my kids today, I would say, know how to study their environments, They know how to, will they be perfect at it? Maybe not. Their
friends. They know how to be aware of their surroundings.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's one of those things we have to educate. We have to normalize this conversation. We've normalized addiction. We've normalized mental health. It's time to normalize human trafficking.
Yes.
Now, do you go out and talk to different groups and everything as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I was actually at Fast Friday. We distributed like a bunch of flyers, just how to recognize signs and, to everybody. And I hope everybody who got our flyers actually read them. The whole of last year, all last summer, we set up to sell the stuff that we get from, the communities we work with in Kenya. And we gave them flyers like, hey, we do human trafficking prevention. Here are resources for you. Go read. We distributed, I think, close to 1,000 flyers. I've trained volunteers who work with kids, CASA volunteers. I did a training for them because, again, they work with kids in, the court system. I've done a training for kids in the foster system. I've done trainings for a church organization. This guy doesn't like you.
They never fail. I think sometimes they purposely wait for me to start recording.
Yeah. So yeah, we do speak anywhere and everywhere. We also do a lot of advocacy.
Right.
Was it last month or the month before? I actually went to Annapolis. There's a bill that has been in the House. It's now in the Senate. It was in the Senate Committee, Energy, Education, and Environment. And it's SB 0254. That's the bill. And Delegate Steve Johnson drafted this bill. He actually sponsored this bill to have human trafficking education taught in middle school from 6th to 8th. 6th to 8th grade. Yeah.
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah. But the bill has not passed. It goes all the way past the committee and, and it's a high time we're not asking for a different curriculum. These kids already have health education.
Right. You need to teach it in health education.
Just add this specific thing in health education for these kids to know when I'm posting anything on Snapchat, when I'm posting anything online, and it's taken and this person tries to manipulate me or this person tries to coerce me or to groom me, they will know, what to look for. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah.
And I've been to Congress with IJM, International Justice Mission, to advocate for, it's called Stop CSAM. And CSAM is child sexual abuse material.
Okay.
So all this material is actually spread online, on all these platforms. So what we're asking for is with Stop CSAM, yes, there is the privacy aspect that's already protected because some people were fighting against it because they thought, you're invading my privacy. But when social media platforms, not any specific one, when all these platforms get anything that looks like child sexual abuse material on their platform, all they provide is probably an image, but they don't provide the IP address.
Right.
So basically the bill is pushing for more accountability from the platforms that are being used to spread this, And these are bills, I hate to say this, but they are bipartisan bills that don't seem to pass just because we are not taking this thing seriously.
Not taking it seriously, or sometimes, and I've seen this happen a lot, they'll slip in other things within that bill that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You should not do that.
Yeah.
They should all be separate bills.
Yeah.
How do people find out more about HopeWorks Global and make a donation?
So HopeWorks Global, we do have a website. It's hopeworksglobal.org. We also do have our social media presence. We're on there. We're support this work. We've been self-funded for the last 1.5 years.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that brings me to a question. Is your husband working with you on this, or is he still in the corporate
He's
sector?
working with me.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
This is like a family affair.
This is your baby.
This is our baby. Yeah. My daughter does graphics, like she's in graphics and design and all that. So she's the one who does like our graphics and everything, our branding and everything. My son, he's an upcoming chef, so he's the one who feeds us when we've all overworked ourselves and we have to.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can you send him to my house?
Yeah, but yes, we do need the support. We do need to spread the awareness. We need to educate more and more people. We're looking to find a space where people can come and actually get resources.
Okay.
Yeah, because currently, I'm not saying go look for my address, but yeah, currently we've been operating more like virtually to some extent. We need a space, an office space, or just a resource center where people can actually walk
come in and be comfortable
and
too.
be comfortable, and it's a safe space for them too. Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yes.
It will definitely happen.
Thank you. Yeah.
Robbie, you have any questions for Linda?
Oh, I could just talk all day about this.
right?
And
Oh,
listen
that's
to
what I
her.
told. What did I tell you before
honestly.
we
We
started?
need to circle back.
I told you you're going to be on a couple more times
Yeah.
at least.
I mean,
at least.
Linda, I just want to say, Linda, thank you so much for coming on. And your story is phenomenal. I've learned so much today, and just keep doing that good work you're doing.
Yeah, thank
you.
you for everything
Thank
you're
you.
doing. And if you haven't started on a memoir yet,
You need to.
Actually, talk about that. In 2024, one of my friends, the same friend that I went with to this lady's house, asked me, why did God uproot you from Kenya to the US? And on July 4th of 2024 or 2023, July 4th of 2023, that's when I got the aha moment. And I actually wrote my eulogy of how I want to be remembered.
Oh, wow.
And that was the turning point for me to even get into this work.
Amazing.
I've never heard of somebody writing their eulogy. That's pretty interesting now.
Yeah, I literally wrote it down, and I wrote down, I want to be remembered as someone who had an impact on people's lives.
And you are.
And I told my husband and kids, and I scared them to death because they're like, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, do you need to, And I told them, if I don't live my life to this standard, don't read this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's accountability at a whole different level.
God. Well, Linda, I want to thank you so much.
you.
Thank you for everything you're doing. And God, those of you listening, make sure you make a donation.
Yes, please.
Help and contact them and do your research.
Yes.
It's important. And people
Become aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is, remember after 9/11, awareness was always a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like a lot of people forgot how to
Forgot.
do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes.
I want to thank Linda from HopeWorks Global for joining us and for having the courage to share a story that is equal parts heartbreaking, inspiring, and eye-opening. From growing up in poverty in Kenya to experiencing unimaginable family tragedy, to turning pain into purpose through advocacy and action, Linda reminded us that our scars don't have to define us. They can become the very thing that helps others heal. One of the biggest takeaways for me is that human trafficking isn't always what people think it is. It's often hidden in plain sight. It can involve labor trafficking, organ trafficking, exploitation of vulnerable populations, and it can even happen right here in our own communities. The more we understand it, the better equipped we are to recognize it and help prevent it. I also love how Linda's journey came full circle. What actually began as a search for answers about her sister's life ultimately became a mission to protect others and create opportunities through HopeWorks Global, both here and in Kenya. From helping trafficking survivors to supporting families and creating economic opportunities, she's proven that one person truly can make a difference. If you'd like to learn more about HopeWorks Global, support their mission, or find resources and training on human trafficking awareness, make sure you check out the links in the show notes. And also, stay tuned because we talked afterwards, and I've talked to a couple other people, and we are actually going to be holding a roundtable discussion on human trafficking. As always, if this conversation touched you, taught you something, or opened your eyes to an issue you hadn't thought about before, please share this episode with someone else. You never know who might need to hear it. Until next time, my name is Rich Bennett. Stay kind, stay safe, stay informed, and keep having those important conversations. And remember, sometimes the greatest impact comes from simply caring enough to listen.